a Kevin Garnett shit-talking story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that was an open practice. And, like, he missed, like, a layup or something. It was one of those things like, oh, I was thinking it, but shouldn't have said it. He said to me, he was like, just let me know when you scored 20,000 plus points in the league. I went back to hang out with my dad in the Nets war room at the time. I actually remember walking in and seeing it on the board.
Gets it off in time. And he's going, baby! Big time! Nets win!
The only Net fans you know? The only Nets fans you know? Man. I mean, come on, man. Or are these guys?
Welcome back to the Only Net Fans You Know podcast. I'm Peter. Welcome to episode 131. I have a very special guest today, the son of an NBA Hall of Famer and Nets legend. Welcome to the show, TJ Kidd. What's going on, TJ?
Not much, Pete. I appreciate you for having me.
There's a lot of stuff I want to dive into, so I'm going to jump straight into it. You were a kid during the whole New Jersey Nets era. Do you know that you're really a part of New Jersey Nets lore?
Yeah, I mean, I've been told that, and I mean, I appreciate that I was able to have that kind of impact on people. So, I mean, and it was fun. The games were fun. I mean, it was Continental Airlines, the Knives Out Center, and great times in that place.
Do you have any memories of the finals?
Little like bits and pieces. I mean, not like anything specific, but my all-time favorite finals memory would have to be that photo I got with Kobe. I mean, obviously they swept us, and Shaq and Kobe just absolutely kicked their ass. Like that, just. I mean, we did the best we could with what we had. I think. I mean, my dad and Kenyon really held it down, but ultimately, like, I mean, we needed the Avengers then.
So it's really funny that you brought up that Kobe picture because I was going to bring that up next. Did you have any interactions with Kobe after that meeting?
Oh, yeah, plenty. Kobe, to me, has always been someone that's been very special to me in terms of my NBA life, and being able to interact with him was always like such a surreal experience.
Was there anyone else besides him that kind of left an impression on you from those New Jersey Nets teams?
Oh, I mean, there's so many people. Like, I mean, I love Bryant. That he was someone. I dressed up as him for Halloween one year. I gotta find the picture, but it was. I mean, so many different people that had an impact on me that came through those Nets teams. Cliff Robinson, Jason Collins, Nenad Kristich. There's so many great times and memories, and being able to just kind of learn and pick people's brains as well, like just being in those environments, it was a lot of fun for me.
Game 7, their first year in Brooklyn, the Nets get knocked out. They're looking for a head coach. They're looking at guys like Lionel Hollins, Brian Shaw, and then out of nowhere, Jason Kidd retires from the Knicks and becomes the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. From your perspective, how did that unfold? Because it felt very abrupt.
Yeah, it was abrupt for me as well. It was. I didn't know. I honestly don't think I knew he was retiring. I mean, I kind of had an inkling just because of how the playoffs went when he was with the Knicks, and I mean, he didn't play great, and I mean, he was older, so I kind of had a feeling like we were at the end. I just didn't realize it was going to be the end then. I mean, I knew once I found out he was retiring, I was like, okay, cool, retiring. And then I started kind of getting messages on social media from Nets fans. So I didn't know what was happening. Honestly, I had no idea what was happening until the news dropped. Like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days later that he ended up getting the job. Because it was a very quick turnaround. And I was excited. I was excited to be able to come back home and being able to, like, I mean, it's home adjacent because it's Brooklyn, but it's still home because it's the Nets.
So your dad gets hired on June 12th. Within 2 weeks, a bombshell hits right before the NBA draft. The Nets are making this deal with the Celtics, bringing KG, Jason Terry, and Kevin Garnett to the Nets. What's your reaction when you see that? Or did you possibly know about it before? Was there like whispers?
So it was funny. I actually worked as an intern for the NBA draft that year. I worked the first round. And then I went back to hang out with my dad in the Nets war room at the time, and I actually remember walking in and seeing it on the board, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And I think on paper, like, it was great, and I think had everybody been 5 years younger, sure, like, I think it would have been great, and I think we would have given Miami a run for their money. But I think given everyone's age and like, it's one of those great ideas on paper trades. Then like, I don't think it was gonna, and I mean, it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. I think they had pretty good the Nets already had pretty good pieces with Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, and Brook Lopez, and those are three guys who I think also deserve a lot of credit for the success those teams had as well. And I think it was very, from a basketball standpoint, it was. I mean, asking Paul Pierce at that age to guard LeBron, I think was a big ask.
Does the pressure automatically just get turned up because you just gave away a lot of picks? The lineup looks good. Then you're adding those vets. Nets just had a great season the year before, but does that add pressure for a first-time head coach who just retired a couple weeks ago?
I mean, I think so. You're jumping into the deep end almost immediately after retiring and becoming a head coach. And I mean, it definitely, I mean, it takes a lot of guts to be able to do that, I think. And that's something I think people, like, in hindsight, I mean, we all know how it played out, but it's very interesting how, like, because it's easy from the outside looking in to be like, oh, like that's weird. Like, this guy just had a great 19-year playing career and immediately becomes the head coach. And because I want to say he was the one that kind of started that wave of players that jumped into coaching. Because I think it was like the year after that, Derek Fisher became the coach of the Knicks. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I think it was, I mean, there was definitely pressure. There was definitely pressure there. And also, I mean, in the beginning of the year, the Nets, I want to say they didn't start off that. It wasn't like a great start either.
11-21, not great. It was tough.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember a lot. It was very tense in the beginning. It was very tense in the beginning, and because you had all these guys who, I mean, Hall of Famers and Jason Terry, KG, and Paul Pierce, who were supposed to come in and help us be a championship contender immediately. And things weren't going the way they planned. And I think having someone who you were just playing against as your coach too, it's a challenge trying to separate the person and the player and the coach. The fact that they ended up turning that season around the way that they did, and it was so much. I mean, it was really cool to be able to see how they were able to navigate and right the ship.
Yeah, so they went 44-38. They went on a 33-17 run the latter half of the season. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit. November 1st, Nets 101, Heat 100. Your Pop's first win. What's your reaction? Were you at the game?
I think so. I want to say I was there. I was there for that. I mean, I was at a lot of the games. I feel like in Brooklyn in that first year, it was. I mean, I just remember being thrilled for him. I think it was. We felt the relief. I think we felt the relief of just because what you want to get as a coach, you want to get that first win as soon as you can, so you don't have to think about it anymore. Because it's a lot. I mean, these coaches, they dealing with these guys. It's being able to having to manage 15 different egos and trying to unite them to one common purpose it's not an easy task. So I think being able to get that when he did, it was definitely a stress off of his back.
That team was a really, really interesting team. D. Will, JJ, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Brook Lopez. You had Andre Karolinko, Andre Blatch, Mirza Telelovich, Jason Collins joined towards the end of the year. a lot of guys. Any interesting stories? And I know you've mentioned a Kevin Garnett shit talking story.
Oh yeah, no, that was an open practice, and it was one of those things like, oh, I was thinking it but shouldn't have said it, and I said it, and I mean,
You were shit talking.
Like it wasn't intentional shit talking. It was like he was just shooting around, and like he missed that. And I don't know what asked me to say it, and I was because he's someone. I mean, like he's a scary dude when he's in the zone. He's like he's the guy you want on your team. He's the guy that like, but I think it was a good like lesson for me because I was like, okay, yeah, no, I had no business saying that. But I was just, it was just not. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was like he missed like a layup or something, and he said to me, he was like, just let me know when you scored 20,000 plus points in the league. I was like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't. That was that's on me, and that's something for me. It's a core memory for me because it was something that. Like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. No business saying that.
I think most people would have had the same reaction, so I think you're good on that.
Yeah.
November 27th, you're at the Nets game. They're playing against the Lakers. You're a couple rows behind you. I think you already know where I'm going with this.
I do.
It's 96-94 Lakers. Nets are down by 2 points with 8.3 seconds left. They have no timeouts left. Tyshawn Taylor out of nowhere bumps into your pops, and the soda goes on the floor. Did you believe that it was an actual spill at the time?
Well, I kind of didn't like it. It took a second to process because it happened so fast. Because I saw him turn around and grab something, and then I saw Tyshawn just kind of. I mean, he dribbled at him and ran into him, and they obviously what happened. And it wasn't until getting on, Twitter, and I saw like the video from the front. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, it's getting caught. You got caught in 4K here. Like there was no hiding the plan there. But I mean, it was a great improv. I think being able to. I mean, not many people are able to think that fast. And to come up with something like that, because I don't think we won the game if I'm remembering correctly. No, it was. But I mean, it was a great idea to get a timeout when you don't have one.
Well, absolutely. That cost $50K. I believe the NBA might have. Yeah, I think the NBA might have overcharged a little bit on that one. Okay. We're going to the playoffs now. Round 1, Game 7 in Toronto. The Nets miraculously pull out a 1-point win of Kyle Lowry getting blocked by Paul Pierce. Were you at that game? Because that was a pretty hype moment. A lot of Nets fans don't remember that moment.
Yeah. Oh no. I wasn't. I was watching. I watched that game on TV. I didn't get a chance to get to Toronto for that, but I remember just being overjoyed watching it. I mean, first of all, Paul being able to get off the ground at that age was just a feat by itself. I think him getting that block, and I think the world of Paul Pierce too, even given the history. I think he, it was a great play, and being able to win in the fashion that we did, and the fact that the way that series went, all the trash talking, and Jay-Z and Drake both pulled up for a game, I remember. And I mean, it was a fun series. It was a fun series, a competitive series. Those Toronto teams were good. Those Toronto teams were really good. Yeah, no, I remember that game 7 and just being excited and then realizing we were playing Miami next.
So the Nets actually swept Miami in the regular season. 3 games won by 1 point. The 4th game went into double overtime. So very close games here. I know LeBron went off in that series. I always felt that the Nets could have squeaked out a couple breaks here or there, and maybe the series goes a different way. You might think totally different, but I just felt like they had more of a chance going into that series. I was not expecting them to get their ass beat the way that they got their ass beat. Well, what was your thoughts
Yeah.
heading into that series?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, like, you look at the tail of the tape, and it's a great matchup on paper, but you got those three guys in Miami: Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron. They're different. I mean, there's one thing, they play like all stars during the regular season, but they play. I mean, they show you why they're all stars in the postseason. They are. I mean, those Miami teams were tough to beat, and the reasons why they got to the finals, they showed you, and I think it was very. I think we kind of just ran out of gas too. I think we ran out of gas, and because I mean, they're long season. I mean, 82 games is a long season, and especially when you're an older team, it's harder on the body, and being able to just try and keep your hands up in the ring. It's very to use a boxing analogy. I mean, it's just very it's tough. It's tough, especially when you're going against three just heavyweight heavy hitters and those guys.
With the 2013-2014 season, what is that one memory that you always go back to when you think about that year or that little era?
Ooh, man, there's so many great moments, and so many fun, just little tidbits. I feel like we talk about from that season. Like, I mean, I met Rihanna. Like, that was cool.
That's
Like
hilarious.
that. Yeah, just randomly walked by her in the hallway at Barclays Center. I was like, oh, okay, hi. Didn't realize it was her at first, but it was fun, and being able to be there, and just, I mean, to be home watching my dad get his jersey retired, it was special, and heck, it was surreal because it kind of felt like it wasn't just him going up there. I mean, the Nets were a huge part of my life, and it was cool being able to be in the building for that, and really special to be able to celebrate that with our family, and so many great moments from that year. I mean, any Joe Johnson game winner was just, I mean, it's a core memory. Joe Jesus, that dude is so much fun to watch play basketball. D Will, so many great ankle breakers. I love Brooke Lopez, one of my all-time favorite people. He's another one. I think once he's done, that his jersey needs to go up in the rafters in Barclays Center. I mean, seeing Jason Collins again, that was great. Rest in peace. He amazing person who lived an amazing life. Him and his family are incredible. I just looking back at it now too, even it's just so many great memories and moments, and being able to be in Brooklyn and getting to connect with all the fans, and like, I mean, as an adult, kind of really, it was cool.
I'm going to transition things now. I'm going to read a quote that you said to Scoop B about the Celtics and Nets trade a couple years later, and then I'm going to ask you a question. I think it was a good decision at the time, absolutely, but you should always take into consideration that you're going to have to field the farm just to be able to build and win now. I feel like draft picks weren't the concern when we were making that trade. It was very much a win now focused move. But going into the future now, where we have teams tanking, where the draft picks are at a premium, there's a whole new lottery system. What's your take on the new lottery system and tanking? I'm someone who is very pro tanking. I believe that if you're going to build a team, tanking is a way to do it, sure, but the goal is not to get the best player. There's a lottery involved, right? So if you're going to tank just to try to do that, it's not going to work out. The point of tanking is to give yourself the best chance at getting the best player available. And I think that's where people kind of get it like mixed up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think tanking, I mean, it's tough because now, like, with with social media and just everything being so up front and in the open, like, you can kind of tell when teams are phoning it in, and it's very it's very interesting because the league has tried so many different things to combat it, and I think it's when you have, I think when the approach is right in terms of tanking, like, okay, like you don't have the talent to win these games. Like, okay, you're tanking, but you're not tanking because you're working with the cards that you've been dealt with. Like you got to just play with the team you have, and you're just not winning games. Like that happens, and I think in this new era of, I mean, there's so much talent coming up now, to where I think teams want to. I mean, you have teams like the Thunder who have 1,000,001 draft picks. They don't really need to. I mean, they don't need to tank. Like they're a conference finals, NBA finals team almost pretty much every year now. Like they've become a mainstay and still managed to draft well. And they built through the draft too. Like a lot of people are like, oh, how are they so good? They built through the draft, went and got Alex Caruso. Like these GMs now, they come from the same trees in terms of how they've come up in the league, and they're able to build these teams so well. And like you don't necessarily need to go put a big three team together anymore. Like you're able to build with young talent and maybe have one or two stars, or have a star and just have a team of really, really good players around the star, and you're able to really just flourish. But I think when it comes to tanking, it has a lot of pros and cons, and ultimately, like, I know the league doesn't encourage it, or like they don't want teams to just be throwing games, and I don't think I think when it comes to that too, is like I don't necessarily think that's the case. Sometimes, I mean, it might look like it. You have certain things that happen. Well, I mean, you have Terry Rozier, what happened with him, and you have all this. I mean, all this murky water in certain areas of the league, but you kind of have to like just accept it in a way that you're not tanking to like forever. It's just you're tanking right now.
I think the NBA kind of went a little overboard with the new lottery system. I understand they wanted to stop tanking. I think this year in particular, you had like a bunch of talent at the top with those big three, the big four. So I think this year is an outlier. I don't think that you're going to see teams going crazy tanking like this every single year. And I think they took this a little bit too far. I don't think you should be a bottom three team and have worse odds than someone in the middle of the pack. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think the league may have taken this a little bit too far. And I know the new lottery system is only for 2 years or something like that, and they could revisit it. But I think it's too tough.
Well, yeah. The problem with, I think, the lottery too is like there's so many. I mean, so like when Dallas got the first pick, right? They had like the 8th best odds at the first pick or something crazy like that, and they ended up with the first pick. And I mean, sure, it did look a little sketchy, like how that all came to be, considering there were teams that had obviously had worse records, and they weren't.
Yep.
They weren't great. Like they obviously could have definitely benefited from having the first pick, but I think the NBA is just trying. I mean, they're just trying. I think they're trying. They are trying. I just think they gotta figure out. There has to be a balance. Because I mean, it's hard to accuse a team of tanking when they like you have a team that could put up, say they average like 79 points a game, and that's low. That's low.
Yeah, very low.
Or you have a team that averages like they're averaging 79 points a game, and they'll win like 5 or 6 games a month, and they finish the season with like 20 wins. But they clearly don't have the talent to. But people are like, oh, they're tanking. They're tanking. Yeah, they're tanking because they're not having a good year, but they don't have the talent to win 40, 50 games. And like in the West, I mean, because the crazy thing about the East and the West is like people are like, oh, the East is bad. No, it's just the game's different. The game's different in each conference. Like the West, you have to win 50 games just to be in the hunt.
Absolutely.
In the East you can win 40 and be a top 4 team. it's just the game. It's complicated. I mean, it's complicated, but it's simple. You have to be able to. They have. I mean, there's fixes for it, and I think we're gonna find it. It's just gonna be a lot of trial and error.
No, I think you make a lot of sense there, and I agree with everything that you said. I think there needs to be a better balance, and the games are different when it comes to each conference. Like, obviously, the West, you look at the win totals, and especially last year. I know, like, I get it. A lot of teams were quote unquote tanking. The talent wasn't there for a lot of the East teams last year, but it is a different game. You look at the rosters, it is a different game. And where I want to take this next is this is a little controversial. As of recording, ESPN has reported the Clippers were not found of circumventing the cap. I think they did, and I'm going to tell you, I think it happens a lot more than people think. I think this is something that's very hard to prove.
I mean, unless Pablo Torre is investigating it, like, because he seems to just be finding. He just seems to be everywhere and have eyes and ears everywhere. I mean, I think because reading up on it, and because I wasn't really aware of like how deep it went, and the fact that he's just kept finding more and more stuff, I was like, wow, okay, like this, there's some substantial things here, but I don't know, like it's tough. It's tough because I don't know why we're circumventing the cap when a lot of these owners, they have a lot of money. And I think it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely a weird thing to hear about. I feel like because it's like what I don't know. It's tough. It's because I just don't understand why we need to circumvent the cap anyway. Like these guys are making a lot of money.
I can give you an example. All right.
Yeah.
So TJ Kidd is the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
We're looking at our cap sheet. We have 20 million left to be able to sign Pete. Okay. Pete has a market value of 30 million, right? I want to join the Nets. The Nets are going to be a good team. I want to join the team, but you don't have the cap space for me. So what TJ could do is he can go and say, "Oh, we're working. We have a new scoreboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to overpay by 10 million on our scoreboard to the scoreboard company. Then the scoreboard company is going to hire Pete. So then he can get his extra 10 million. And it looks like a normal sponsorship deal. Pete is doing the sponsorship, right? But technically, TJ Kidd is providing the money for that. That would be a way. That's how I would look at it.
I hear what you're saying on that, and I mean maybe it's just me and my old school way of thinking. Because if I'm Pete and like I want to play for the Nets and I want to win a championship, the money's gonna come. The money's gonna come regardless. Whether it's some sort of shoe deal or sports drink deal, like whatever outside endorsement, like teams can help. I feel like with that, I gotta refresh my CPA knowledge, but it has to. Like I think when it comes to that, it's just like it feels like a lot of unnecessary work for no reason.
And risky too, very risky.
And just like you're putting because you're risking the long term of your franchise just for something short term. And say Pete has to kind of just go off of what you're talking about. Like say Pete has a lot of different injury issues and he doesn't play a lot. But he's a great player. He's a great player, all-star level player, like defensive player of the year, all that stuff. And you really want Pete on your team. Like there's ways to do it without doing that. And that's just my 2 cents on it.
No, that's fair. Like, listen, like there's been cases of this in the past of teams losing draft picks, contracts being voided. Like it's a risky thing. People don't realize that Adam Silver is hired by the NBA team owners, right? So basically you have the owners technically investigating themselves. So I think that's where a lot of people are a little upset considering everything that Pablo Torre has thrown out there. So it looks a little shady. It definitely looks a little shady. But I agree with a lot of what you said, 100%.
Yeah, it just seems like a whole lot of it's unnecessary, and like you're only doing damage to yourself in the long run, because I mean everything done in the dark always comes to light, and it's very I mean it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that these things happen, and it's just a bad look for the game, I think.
100%. 100%. All right, TJ. I got to preface this. We are not attacking any front office executives, any team,
No.
blah, 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 all this stuff. We're not doing that. But I have just made you the hypothetical GM of the Brooklyn Nets. You're looking at the roster or the draft picks, and you've inherited this franchise. What's the first thing that you're going to look at?
The first thing I'll look at after becoming the GM of the Nets, I got to look at the roster. See what we're working with. And I like Jordi Fernandez a lot. I think he's a great coach. We'll keep Jordi, and we'll play. I think we got to play the first 2-3 weeks of the season, see what we look like, and go from there. Maybe make a move, get Michael Porter Jr.'s contract off the books. See if we can get a draft pick or a nice role player for him. Think. And it's gonna. I mean, it's a rebuild. We got to rebuild. We got to rebuild because we have a lot of. I mean, we've got a lot of good talent on the team, and I think we can kind of watch these guys develop and go from there. Because it's, and I know Nets fans have probably heard this forever. Oh, it's like just not. I don't want to say trust the process because that's Philly's thing, but we kind of have to. We have patience. It's an exercise in patience, and we have to just be a little bit patient for a little bit longer, and then look into free agency and talk to some stars, pitch them on the idea of New York, but not Manhattan. We pitch them on Brooklyn.
Okay, so you just hit on something that I'm very passionate about. And I love your answer, because I talk to a lot of people, like fans, people who come on the show. And a lot of the time, understandably, the fan base is frustrated, 100%. And I get that. But I don't think fans realize front offices look at this team in a 3 to 4 year type of deal rather than like immediate. Like, for example, the Nets' first round pick this year has a swap condition that Houston could take it. So if we're rebuilding, are we going to just try to add like a 35-year-old player who would make the team better, but then you're adding on like a large contract for 2 to 3 years? I feel like that's going backwards. I think that deal is like a sunken cost. And if you're rebuilding, you got to be patient.
Yeah, no, I think being patient, I mean, it's hard. It is hard to be patient. It's hard to be patient, especially since, I mean, we haven't been back to the finals since 2002, 2003. Yeah, patience, and I mean, when you're building these teams that win championships, it takes time. Oklahoma City didn't happen overnight. San Antonio didn't. I mean, San Antonio's a very rare exception because
they got lucky. They got a LeBron pick basically.
Well, they did.
They got Wemby.
And Wemby and Castle. I mean, getting Castle the following year, like it. I think San Antonio is the most beautiful example of what a great, amazing. I mean, they're just from top to bottom a beautifully run organization. You want to win a championship. You watch what they do. Take notes on what they do, how they deal with their players, how they put their people in positions to succeed. Because I mean, Sam Presti came from San Antonio, and look what he's done in Oklahoma City. Like it all connects, and like the branches all connect throughout the league. And I mean, the NBA is just like it's a tree. I mean, it's a weird analogy, but the NBA is like a tree.
No, makes sense.
And I know it's tough as fans. We're excited, we're passionate, we want to see instant success. But like all the great things that happen in our lives, like we have, like they take time, they take hard work, and they take patience.
100%. What's your take on the backcourt of Jaeger Doman and Mikel Brown Jr.? Are you a believer in them? What do you think about Mikel?
I like him a lot. I liked his game in college, and I think he's a great player. I think him and Igor, and I watched Igor a little bit at BYU because one of my dear family friends, he played football at BYU, so I kind of watched some of their basketball stuff too. They're heading in the right direction. I think they're heading in the right direction in how they're building this team. And I mean, it's not going to always look pretty, but I think patience again. Like we got to watch. These guys are young, and they're going to learn how to play the game and play the game the right way, and put themselves in a position to be the most successful that they can be.
I think that's fair. I like Mikel Brown Jr. a lot. I don't think people are giving him a fair shake in that they're expecting him to put up like 15 points a game, 35% from three, 7 assists. Young point guards, their rookie year usually aren't lighting up the scoreboard. Look at SGA. SGA played, I think, almost every game, and he didn't even average like 15 points. It takes time for these guys to develop, and that's an MVP player, right? This is not, a scrub. This is an MVP player. It's going to take time.
100%. And I think just it all circles back to patience, because you never know what these guys turn into. They could be they might be all-stars, they might be perennial Hall of Famers. Like we don't know the rest of their story, but we're watching it right now. So I think the idea, like sure, it's fair I think with everything in life, we're all going to have expectations, and I think it's fair to have expectations. I think we just also have to be realistic about our expectations, and I think being able to see knowing what these guys are capable of, I think the future is in good hands, as long as the right resources and how they go about their own personal development as players goes how they want it to.
All right, TJ, I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sounds good.
Playing or coaching? You played at Bergen Catholic, and you've had a little experience coaching in Beverly Hills. Playing or coaching?
Oh, both are. Oh man, both are.
You got to
fun.
pick one. I got to put you to the flame. You got to pick one.
Oh, I'll probably say coaching. Coaching's a lot of fun. I'm actually currently coaching. I'm actually coaching girls basketball now, so it's been a fun change of pace, and I'm excited to really get into it, and to see the growth of the women's game has been a lot of fun as well. I got hurt my senior year in high school, so I didn't play my senior year, and that was kind of it for me. And it was kind of around the same time my dad got into coaching. So it was really interesting, because I was like, okay, like I see that he's coaching, so like, and I consider myself to be pretty knowledgeable about the game and the X's and O's, and I've always been curious and asking questions whenever I had a chance to talk to somebody who knew. I always like to be in rooms with people who can help me get better. Because I'm like, if I feel like I have nothing left to learn, that it bothers me. So I think it's important to really challenge. Like as a coach, for me, like I enjoyed the challenge of helping people reach their full potential. So like it's a lot of fun, and I think, it would be cool one day to, be an NBA coach. Like that would be surreal, like to reach at that level and be able to coach at that level for me would be a dream.
Favorite arena to watch a game?
Gotta say it's a 1A, 1B, and Nets fans might not like my answer.
Oh no. Don't do it.
So 1A, I'm gonna say it absolutely Izod Center and the Meadowlands, like that. I've had a few dreams just thinking about it, like being able to be back in there and it was a fun place. It was a really fun and special place, and the people who worked there made it special too. Like they were everyone who from security to the vendors, like everyone. It was just a fun time. And 1B, I gotta say Madison Square Garden. I know.
I'm gonna censor this, by the way, but
I know.
people will
It's
know what
okay.
it is.
It's okay.
I'm gonna just go
It's
beep. You're
okay.
gonna hear a beep.
It's okay.
I'm kidding.
It's okay. I understand. And I mean, just the energy and like even as the away team, it was fun. Like for me, like
I get it. Yeah.
And like even as like going in with the Nets as the away team. I mean, because come on, we used to beat up on them too. Like they have all this confidence now, and I mean, I was a Net longer than I was a Nick. I was Nick for a year, and it was it was a fun year, and I mean, we did that. The fun game winner that he had against the Nets was, I mean, it could have been an offensive foul. It could have not been. I mean, the Garden was always special just to be able to be there. Because I mean, you felt the energy and the history in the building every time you walk in there, regardless of what side you were on.
That's fair.
It's like a basketball. What's the word?
Cathedral.
Yeah.
Favorite jersey.
The silver.
Go ahead.
The silver. New Jersey jersey.
The sport books have the Nets over/under win total at 24.5. Are you taking the over or taking the under?
I'm gonna take the over. I think they've got a lot of interesting pieces on their roster, and I think they can go. I think they can win more than 24.
I'm gonna go over, but they got to stay healthy.
Yeah,
they got to stay healthy. And my key is Michael Brown Jr. Like I know I just said before, rookie point guards, they usually need a year to kind of, get their bearings. But if he can come out and just start, if he's like a breakout candidate, a breakout player, the ceiling for this team jumps up, in my opinion. I think he's the key. He's the key, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good. I think that's a good analysis of that. I think, and I also think, really, that's the key for every team. You stay healthy.
True.
And you can play your team at 100%. I mean, that's all. Really, you can hope for.
All right, TJ, I've held you for a while. Let's get some promo in there for you with TJ Kidd Classic. Did I get that right?
Yeah. As a kid, I would get invited to play in these charity games, and I've always wanted to do my own. So we 4 years ago we started this, the TJK Classic, and we've picked different causes every year. But this year we're actually sticking with the charity that we worked with last year, because a good friend of mine, his name's Mamadou Ndiaye, he's from Senegal. And he's been doing some amazing work with his foundation, and the 7-6 Foundation. And whoever's listening wants to go look it up, we just helped them build a school and orphanage in Senegal, and he's doing a really, really amazing work with them, and being able to help him. And he's a good friend of mine, so being able to help him has just been an honor. And being able to use the game of basketball as well to do something good, like it's cool.
I'm gonna put a link in the description box for you guys to check that out.
Oh yeah, Kid and Dre have a podcast, Kid and Dre, and we talk all things NBA and sports, lifestyle, leisure, all the fun stuff. We have some cool people on, and we talk business too, and we were able to tell some pretty cool and unique stories with that, and it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun, and so it's a fun listen too, from what I'm told. I've been doing some acting stuff too, so if I magically just appear on somebody's TV screen, it's intentional. I've been doing this acting stuff for about like a year now, and it's been a lot of fun, and being able to do different things with it, and it's been a wonderful opportunity. I just want to give a quick shout out to the place where I go take these acting classes and acting studio. It's in Studio City, California, and the teacher, Andrani, she's amazing.
All right, guys, you're checking this out on YouTube right now. If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps me get great guests like TJ on. Have a good day, have a good night, and let's go Nets. We're out.